We're talking about coilovers and what I highly recommend. Anytime you guys ask me, you already know I always say Beatz Racing. I could not get temps above 200 no matter how hard I drove the car. So a short throw shifter.
Oh my God!
Shift, so first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. If you don't know who I am, I'm Kruddykarl and I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should probably follow me on Instagram as well because I make decent content there. But welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about what I think my top 5 modifications are for the FRS, BRZ, H6, whatever you want to call it, Terreno, or anything like that. And this is going to be like my top 5. I'm going to try and stick away from like the normal like wheels, tires, and stuff like that that people always say, or like exhaust. I mean, those things are great, but I'm going to try and talk about the little things that like I've done that have made my driving experience pretty good. Now, before you say, well, your car's blown up, how should I trust you? I actually have 2 of them. This is actually my second one. This is my drift car, and then this is my baby. We're rebuilding her, and there's a lot going on. Blew my motor. If you don't know, I'll link that. But yeah, so huge hole in my motor. So I'm rebuilding it. I had a spoolie boy in there, but it's okay. We're gonna redo it again, and it's gonna be even better. So I'll have an update video for that next video, explaining everything that I'm trying to do with the car. Both of my cars, drift car, daily drift car now, and you're probably saying to yourself, okay, what is this guy gonna tell me that no one else has already told me before? And I think I've got a couple ones that are pretty good. Starting off at number 1 is one that I absolutely love. Okay, so coming to the inside of my car, this is actually a 2-for-1. It's actually the shift knob, getting a weighted shift knob for your car, and then also a short throw shifter.
Oh my God! This is insane! This is insane for the fifth. Oh my God!
It's actually been a while since I've been in this car, and I just love it. I've been spraying it, keeping it smelling good, but short throw shifter and a weighted shift knob. Now, why, you may ask? Just because one, with a weighted shift knob, it'll actually make your shift much smoother, just because, you know, the whole silence, pendulum, everything on top, whatever. But just trust me when I say, when you put a weighted shift knob on your car, it does make a huge difference, even if it's stock, just the driving feel. Now, this one is the Raceseng Regalia shift knob, and I absolutely love it. I will be getting another one for my drift car, but in Samantha, I have the Raceseng Regalia shift knob, and then I also have now this is a great thing. It's Torque Solution short throw shifter. Let me show you. Shifting in this car with the short throw shifter, that's first, that's second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, right? And you see how short these throws are, right? And then if we go over to the other car, it's great that I have 2 of these cars and I can show you. Hopping in the drift car, and we look at the shift. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And you can just see, like, this car came with the weighted shift knob, but I'll be switching it out with the Racing one. But the throws on it are just way longer, and when you put that short throw shifter on there, it makes it just way more notchy, and it feels way better. And you can actually pick both of those up for a pretty good price of around, I believe, it was like $150 or $220 for the short throw shifter with the rubber bushing. That'll make shifting feel a lot better. And then the shift knob, I think, was $150. Racing creates really high quality products, and I really like them. So if you've never heard of them, check them out. Okay, so you can call the shift knob and short shifter like 1 and 1.5. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is something that's just a little bit more expensive above that, but it's actually great for the car, and I highly recommend it because once I installed this, I could not get temps up. And what I'm talking about is an oil cooler. Now you're probably saying to yourself, what the hell do I need an oil cooler for? Well, basically what happens is you take your oil cooler, right? And then let's just say the intercooler wasn't there. You'd sit it right there in the front. You'd have 2 hoses. Well, actually, it'd be sitting right there in the front right now. Imagine that's there. If you're sitting there, you'd have 2 hoses that run all the way back right here, and then there's a sandwich plate, and a couple other things. But what that allows you to do is, running an oil cooler on your car is something that I highly recommend, because getting temps up, especially if you're someone who drives your car hard, takes your car to the track and all like that, getting temps up with an oil cooler is ridiculously hard. I've taken this car specifically, after I installed the turbo kit, I could not get temps above 200 no matter how hard I drove the car. driving the car throughout the day, couldn't get temps above 200 at all. My oil temps at all, could not get them above that. And then another thing that I recommend is a Mishimoto radiator. Now I know you can't see it, but this car has a Mishimoto radiator. This car will have a Mishimoto radiator, and then it'll have the Mishimoto fan shrouds. This one will have the stock ones. But having an upgraded oil cooler, or adding an oil cooler and then an upgraded radiator to your system can actually save you a ton of money, simply because it'll actually help keep your engine much cooler with oil temps and coolant temps, and so that you don't run into any issues later on down the line with cooling or anything like that. So let's say you have bad cooling or something like that, or your system isn't functioning right, you have a leak or something like that, I'd recommend just upgrading and switching to a new radiator, Mishimoto radiator, or adding a Mishimoto oil cooler to your system just to help keep temps down, so when you're at the track driving spiritedly with your friends or anything like that, racing in Mexico, your car will be cool and your car will perform way better. We're talking about coilovers, and what I highly recommend, anytime you guys ask me, you already know, I always say BC Racing.
2005, seen it with my eyes, dope still alive, real mall eyes, real raw eyes, real whole eyes, all time high, do it for the culture, they gon' bite like vultures, way back when I was trapping, not Toyotas.
Any of my friends say, what do you recommend I should get? I always say BC Racing. Anyone that asks me, BC Racing is the place. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, what do you know about it? Well, this car right here, Samantha, sits on BC Racing BR Series coilovers. You can see that up top. I actually just rebuilt this coilover down here, and then Lexi over here actually sits on BC Racing DS Series coilovers, and there's a little bit of a difference between the two. Now the BR Series coilovers, these are your coilovers for your daily. These are the ones you're cruising around town, you get a little spicy here and there, maybe you go to Mexico, maybe you go to the track, you can have fun on them, and they're your coilovers. They're the ones for you, they'll work. So the thing is the BR Series coilovers, they're the daily ones. They're you can take them to the track, you can have fun with them, still drive home. DS Series, on the other hand, these are a little bit more track oriented, and so the thing is you can see it right down there. It looks similar to the BR Series, but it's just how they function, and they function just a little bit different compared to the BR Series. But with coilovers, it gives you, especially with BC Racing coilovers, you have 32-way adjusting dampening. You also have an adjustable one-way coilover, and the great thing about it is they're super easy to adjust. One locking collar on the top and on the bottom. Hold on. And then everything bolts in really easily. You don't have any issues of trying to figure it out. It bolts in really easily, and they work really well. And the great thing about it is that I really like, BC Racing will also send you an adjustable end link for your car after you install the coilover. So what more can you ask for? I do appreciate everything that they do for me, because I love their coilovers. They're great. I've never had any problems. The only time, actually that's a lie, I have had one problem, and it was my fault. Because when you get your coilovers, it is recommended that you throw some anti-seize in there just so that they don't lock up, and that's what happened to mine. But I rebuilt this one, threw some anti-seize in it, and it's fine, and it works great. So yeah, they're not too stiff, and the thing is, if you feel like they are too stiff, what you can do is you can come right over here, grab the top of this bad boy, and just turn it. And you can see it says soft and hard on it. So the thing is, you can adjust it all the way to the right and make it as hard as possible, so that then you have a rough ride, or you can adjust it all to the left and make it soft. And that's great for when you're at the track, or when you're just daily driving or anything like that, to make adjustments for you that'll help your car handle. Upgraded pads and rotors, and you're probably gonna say, what is that gonna do for you? And here's why. And I know my wheels are extremely dirty. That's very nasty. But coming over here, Samantha does not have upgraded pads and rotors. It's just the stock ones, and I do need new ones anyway, just because the car's been sitting for so long. But, so, one thing I do notice with this car is I have way more stopping power opposed to this car, simply because of the upgraded pads and rotors in the car. Now, I'm not gonna say it's like a 6-piston or anything like that or anything crazy, but I do notice that I am able to stop much faster compared to with just the stock rotors and stock brake pads. Once I got this car actually came with upgraded pads and rotors, and once I threw the pads and rotors, once I drove the car with the upgraded pads and rotors, I immediately noticed a difference. I noticed better stopping power, and it just felt way better than stock. So, upgraded pads and rotors, be safe, so you can stop. I was actually trying to think of one last thing, and one thing that I actually really do love, recommend for the car, or any car honestly, I'm pretty sure they do it for most manufacturers and most cars, but I've made a video about it, but I'm gonna highlight it again. A P3 gauge. Now, right now the car's not on. I can tell you that I absolutely love this thing. Now, not only is it a boost gauge, but what we can go through is we can cycle through here. We can see pressures, we can see ethanol, we can see my coolant temp right now. But a P3 gauge will allow you to see all the vital information for your car without having a bunch of gauge pods and gauge clusters on your pillar or anything like that. Now, with this little gauge right here tells you oil temp, coolant temp, ethanol levels, your RPMs, your wheel speed. It'll tell you a bunch of different things, and the great thing about it is it will also tell you codes, and it'll allow you to clear the codes as well, straight from here, not having to use your OBD or anything like that. You could use just this, clear codes and all that, and the great thing about it is it'll tell you the name of the code, and you'll actually be able to look it up just like you do normally. But you won't have to have one of those OBD readers or anything like that. And the other thing that I really like about it that you saw is how it sits in the vent. So the thing is, there's no other modifications that I needed to do. Didn't have to do it on the dash, on the pillar, or anything like that. It fit right into my vent. And the thing is, I was still able to retain AC because your boy gets hot. My titties sweat. So the thing is, getting that P3 gauge it honestly changed with this car so much, just because I didn't need to do anything. I can flash, I can reset codes, I can clear codes, I can see the codes, look them up, see my oil temp, wheel speed, ethanol, all that, and I can know all that just from the gauge, nothing else. Don't need any extra things. So that's what I recommend. If this video was helpful to you and you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button because I do make decent content, and I promise this car's coming back. We're gonna get more drifting content on this. I'm actually thinking about going and just kind of risking it and doing a little bit of drifting, not driving the car as hard, but going to do a little drifting because I do miss driving it. But yeah, that's what I recommend for your BRZ FRS 86. This is an 86, this is an FRS, just in case anyone wants to ask. But that's what I recommend. So if it was helpful to you, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram at Kruddy_Karl, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.